Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Ham Nation is provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This episode of Ham Nation is brought to you by DX Engineering. DX Engineering offers practically everything you need to outfit your shack, plus the fastest shipping in the industry. In-stock items ship the same day, Monday through Friday until 10 p.m. Eastern. For more information, visit dxengineering.com/hamnation. By LegalZoom. Visit LegalZoom.com to save on your legal needs and gain access to a network of legal plan attorneys for guidance. LegalZoom is not a law firm, but provides self-help services at your specific direction. Visit LegalZoom.com and use offer code HAMNATION to receive $10 off at checkout. And by ICOM. For more information, visit ICOMAmerica.com/HAMNation.
This is Ham Nation, episode number 146 for May 7th, 2014. We are all off to Dayton. Hi, everybody. It's K9EID, and I'm from the Ozarks tonight. And we're so happy to be here with some really special guests and lots of special things because in a few days, there's going to be some of us headed east, maybe west, going to the big Dayton. And I'm really excited that we have a lot of things tonight we're going to talk about that we've gotten pictures sent in. And we also have Scott Robbins here. Scott is the owner and the great CW operator, but he's the owner of Vibroplex. Hi, Scott. How are you? It's nice to see you.
Great to be here. Bob, good to see you as always.
Well, it's long overdue. We'll be back to you in just a minute. George is down there getting you smoke and solder going, so we'll be there in a minute. And right now, we're going to go move down and talk to Gordo. But keep in mind, Amanda is watching the chat room. She'll be back in a little bit with all of your questions, see if we can answer those. Gordo, how's it going on the coast? Let's see what's going on in your world.
Everything is wonderful here. We, too, are getting ready for Dayton. And we just came back from Central Arkansas UHF group via Skype. And what a great group we had on Skype. And remind our viewers and listeners that Bob and I and your other hosts can Skype your organization if you need someone to talk to the group. And this May 10th, the Reno Swap Fest this coming Saturday at Sparks at the convenient Denny's. And then, of course, you're going to hear about it tonight, the Dayton Hamvention coming up next week, just about a week from tomorrow or the next day. And we're going to have some very special Ham Nation activities going on at Dayton. Bob, I hear 505 total booths sold out. 260 vendors, hundreds of flea market spaces outside in acres and acres of flea market territory. So Dayton is going to be a blast. And by the way, Tim says that Contest University still has a few more spots. So go to contestuniversity.com and get registered. And again, Contest University has also got scholarships for kids. So this is neat, all that Contest University is going to do. So, Bob, we'll see you next week in Dayton. Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We go early because we have our booth is 100 foot long, so it takes a while to set it up. But we have a special booth at the end of it. We're very, very happy and honored that the DARA group gives this booth to Leo Laporte for the Twit group, and so Ham Nation has our own booth right at the end of Audio Alley. And on Saturday, that's a week from this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time, we will be on the air with Leo on his Tech Guy show. So you want to try to remember to tune into Twit. Just go to twit.tv and you'll see all of us there. Gordon and George and Don and Valerie, we're all going to be there with Leo, and it really is a lot of fun to do that. So be sure you tune in. And then Friday, for you that are going to Dayton, Friday at 12 o'clock or so, we're having a forum, a Ham Nation forum. That's a free-for-all forum. We never know what's going to happen, but we'll be there. That is right, Gordo. We kind of throw it on the air, don't we?
It is, and we're going to have as many of the hosts as we can round up at Dayton there as well. So if you enjoy the after-net ham nets that our valued net control operators do, then show up for the ham forum and see who's who.
You also get to meet some of them because some of them are going to be there. So that's kind of great. That's always fun. At least I think it is. And get to see some of we really like to see the people that are there on the other side of the screen and people in the chat room. So we'll look forward to seeing you there at the forum. Well, before we get into all of the new stuff at Dayton, I got stuff from Comet. I got stuff from MFJ. I think George. Well, we haven't heard from George. George, how are you? Are the smokes and the solders all coming together?
Actually, we're going to do what I do as a pastime tonight. When I don't have the soldering iron on, you still got to get some ideas. So we're going to take a look at that tonight. But good to see you both and looking forward to Dayton next week. I'll be here next Wednesday, but I'll be flying out Thursday morning, and I hope to catch y'all then.
Yeah, we'll do that. I have to also say, don't miss this. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to show you a video of two of my friends from here in the Ozarks that drive on Thursday, and they have a mobile beacon on 30 meters with a trailing wire antenna. This is the coolest thing ever. You're going to see it here in just a few minutes. They came over yesterday and we shot this video. Al, I've been friends with Al since the 6 meter days, W0ERE, and N0 SAP. He has a name of David that his mother gave him, but we all know him as Sap. And these two guys are something. You'll see that in a few minutes. But right now, we're going back to Gordo because he's got some really interesting things for us, I think, about APRS, so we know where we are. Is that what we do with that, Gordon?
That's it. Now, for those of you not able to come to Dayton, go to the W5KUB.com webcast, and you'll see all of the activities almost continuously that he has showing the Dayton Ham Mission. Well, let's tune in to Automatic Position Reporting System. Bob Braninga is the inventor of it, called Automatic Packet Reporting System, APRS for the rest of us. And we're going to tune in to Don Arnold, W6 GPS, who's out there, and he says, "Where am I?" So if we can go ahead and roll the video, or actually roll the short shots. APRS is quite useful, especially for emergency communicators, to keep track of the communications going on into, let's say, a street fair. And here's a typical setup we used last weekend in Santa Ana, California. And you can see the Kenwood transceiver below and the AVMAT APRS just above it down at the street level. And if we take a close look, we can actually see who is where. So if you're working with a team of emergency responders from different groups, and if they have APRS on a handheld, and they're going to be somewhere out there in the radio land streets and alleys with a little piece of equipment like this, that's the Yaesu. And if they're going to be squawking APRS, that's the Kenwood, you'll be able to track them on your little equipment back at the base station. And, of course, APRS relies on the global positioning system, and today's handhelds from all of the manufacturers, ICOM, Kenwood, Yaesu, all have the GPS receiver built right into the handheld. Now, on the transceiver itself, every time our units squawk, we get a readout on the radio, shows that that operator is very close. And if you want to see something far away, such as what we did last year in Albuquerque, here's a little portable APRS setup, and we're tuning into a balloon at 76,129 feet, and you can see the APRS packets coming over loud and clear. And for the balloon chase crew, they use this type of gear, and they're able to get right to the landing spot. And here it is on the Kenwood, my squawking on the Kenwood D72. And look at this. They can actually see exactly where you are, right down to which side of the street you're on via APRS. And via APRS. It can also message with short packets as well. Now we have 2 operators, and yep, we're 2 blocks apart, so everything is looking good. And APRS, just on the radio itself, can show you the direction of where the other station is. And radios that don't have APRS can pipe out and pipe in the information so that you can drive a alternate computer with the APRS mapping. Now, there's more things that you can do. Here I was playing around with the Bayon's Tiny Track, and they said that if you do it just right, you can actually do messaging. And sure enough, I pushed a couple of buttons, and here comes an incoming message I was able to read right on the touchscreen of the AvMap APRS unit. Pretty neat, huh? That's Don Arnold going, oh, my gosh, you can do that. He was amazed that I could figure it out with my my own self. It took a lot of gear to do it, and playing around with APRS is fun on the bench. And if you want to know who's out there and around you, you've got a station list via APRS. Even stations quite a distance away, 231 miles to the northeast, showing up on APRS. And if you want to send via your radio a short message via packet to another APRS transceiver, you can do so if you're good at texting. And just out cruising, that's that packet of information coming in. And the APRS service is just fantastic for amateur radio because kids get a big kick out of seeing the small transceiver tied into a laptop. And it's not just for land. Where permitted by the pilot, we can also take it up and do aeronautical APRS. I think we'll even have quadcopters with APRS. And here we see APRS for maritime mobile. That's Pastor Jason, W6AUX. In fact, the maritime industry uses a form of APRS called digital selective signaling, DSC. And digital selective calling allows for ships to automatically squawk their MMSI via a system similar to APRS. And here you see a display on a DSC radio that is squawking other positions of vessels around them. So we're not the only one that uses a form of digital selective calling. And there's Don, and that's Leo. And you're going to see both Don and Leo weekend after next over at the main hall, the main arena, Hera Arena downstairs. You'll see them talking all about AvMap and APRS. So neat stuff out there. Now, here's the mission. Don, W6 Golf Papa Sierra, is out there right now going from California back to Chattanooga and then up to Dayton. And he says, where am I? So go to aprs.fi and simply type in Don's call sign, W6GPS. And his question, and he may have a special little something for you if you meet him up in Dayton with the answer. His question is, where am I eating dinner, and can I eat all of the dinner served? So go to APRS, go to W6GPS at aprs.fi, type in his call sign, and you tell us where he's having dinner and whether or not he can eat it all. And I don't know, but I doubt that he can do it, but we'll wait and see. So that's your mission for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners. W6 GPS, where in the world is he tonight? And Bob, we're going to look forward to seeing all of the APRS activities because they've got a balloon launch at Dayton next week. Bob, back to you. And at Dayton, by the way, our brand new Gordo book is out. Just came off the press yesterday, and we hope all of you will have an opportunity, if you've got friends wanting to get into ham radio, to tell them the new question book is out. Bob, back to you. And what are you holding in your hand there, Bob?
Gordon, I got to tell you something. And this is, I want everybody to listen. That, you know, for a long time, CQ's had a lot of problems in getting their printer or whatever together. I just got my CQ today. It's been around a while. It was in my other office. Man, this new CQ that came out is really good. It reminds me of the old days. And there's, of course, the usual great columns that Gordo writes. And he's writing about a really nice set of headphones. I appreciate that. And all other kinds of things. But I'm just letting everybody know CQ is really, really cooking. I'm impressed. And I just want to let everybody know I've been reading that this afternoon here. Along with my new theater organ magazine. I have to have all my hobbies together. So anyway, we're going to have a word from Don. I think we got a video about DX Engineering, that great place way out there in Ohio that's going to be in strong at Dayton. So Don, let's see what they have from DX Engineering.
Thanks, Bob. Man, can you believe it? Dayton is here, and DX Engineering is putting the finishing touches on the giant, huge caravan to Dayton. So if you're going, make sure you stop by and see the DX Engineering people. They're going to be in the usual spot right there in the main arena. And DX Engineering has got some serious plans for Dayton. Yeah, they're going to reveal several all-new products at Dayton. So revolutionary are these pieces and so innovative that we can't tell you anything about it. You're just going to have to see them in person at Dayton. That's how special it is. And you'll find all the products updated instantly when they're released at dxengineering.com, but not a moment before. Some other new things, like if you want to put a face to a name, DX Engineering always brings in an all-star team of serious ham radio operators that will offer advice and answer your questions, whether it's intricate electrical issue, an unidentified RFI source. Maybe you've got a question on tower specifications. The DX Engineering experts will point you in the right direction. And if you needed another reason to go to Contest University, you can get a special discount voucher from DX Engineering to Contest University graduates. You sign up at contestuniversity.com, complete the program, and you'll get the coupon to redeem at the DX Engineering booth right then and there at Dayton. And yeah, we know that not everybody can go to Dayton. It's a good trip. So if you are tuning in at home and staying home and not going to make the show, well, make sure you visit dxengineering.com. That is the next best thing to being there. You'll stay up to date on all the new products being unwrapped during the show, and dxengineering.com will post new deals every Thursday, and it'll be updated instantly during the Dayton Ham Fest with the latest deals and details on exciting new products. There's also a brand new DX Engineering catalog coming any day. Now, here's the old one. This is the current one. The new one is right in here. I haven't even looked at it yet. Full of new products, new lines, new stories, new tech information. If you haven't gone online to dxengineering.com to request your free catalog, you need to do it now to make sure you get the new edition. I'm finding it really, really, really hard to... This is sealed. Look at this. It's haven't even opened it up yet. If you want to grab any DX Engineering gear, get your order in by 10 p.m. Eastern. If it's in stock, it'll go on a truck headed your way tonight. Proven products, expert advice, the fastest shipping in the industry. DX Engineering helping you shrink the globe. Call. Request your catalog. Shop online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. dxengineering.com/hamnation. And DX Engineering, we thank you for your support of Ham Nation. That's it. I can't wait. I gotta open it up. I gotta open it up. I gotta peek. Boy, they seal this thing good. Something else. Bad deal. Oh, what? Oh. Ooh. Oh, you're gonna love this. Bye. I'm reading.
I want to play this video of W0ERE and N0SAP. Yep, it's a trailing wire 30-meter beacon, and you get to be a part of this. So get your pencil out and your paper out, because you're going to have to take notes about the frequencies and all that. And, of course, some of you might want to put it in your iPhone. But let's roll the video and see what kind of fun these guys are having, and you can join in. One of my old buddies here, Al Gallo. Al, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, great. We're having a ball.
And you're W0?
Echo, radio, echo.
All right. And David.
This is SAP N0 SAP.
You guys, this is kind of crazy, but it's kind of cool. You have a mobile beacon. Is this right? What frequency are we doing here? What's happening?
Present time, we're operating on 10.12925 to be exact, but you tune 129 and you'll find us.
But this is mobile while you're going to Dayton. Is this right?
Right. We've run this beacon at several different events, but primarily it is our major goal to use it to Dayton and back from Dayton. So we'll be on the air anywhere from 8 to 10 hours with a trailing wire.
Wow. Well, we have some great video. I followed you a while ago. Whose idea was this?
Well, actually, Al came up with it, and we just kind of refined his theory from there. So,
If it's anything crazy, Al will do it.
pretty much, we're two peas in a pod.
But I find that you usually follow what he wants to do, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We'll come up with some great ideas, I guarantee you.
Well, you guys have been friends for years, but I'll tell you, this is really cool. So we'll be listening as we head to Dayton on 30 meters, see if we can hear you. And you want reports back, correct?
Sap can tell you how we're going to get the reports back. And go ahead, Sap, lay it on them.
Well, we're gonna be on 17 meters. We're going to be monitoring 18.113, and so you can call in, look for us live, give us live reports from what you're hearing, or you can send an email or an audio file to us as well.
And that 18?
18.113.
Very good. And I notice also that as you go along, I guess Al is punching the buttons. He knows what grid square you're in, right?
Yes, the grid squares have been done by the cell phone. It'll actually tell us what grid square we're in. So as you follow us, if we change the grid square, you'll be able to find out exactly where we're located.
Oh, wow.
And there's the equipment that makes it all happen. There's Al's cell phone that tells him what grid square they're in. That's the MFJ memory keyer, the antenna tuner, and the Yaesu 817. Al puts the grid square in manually with the key as they change grid squares. That's what we're listening to on 10.129.
Love it.
You're leaving?
Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Probably around 7:30. The beacon will be on by at least 8 o'clock.
8, okay. Thursday.
And it'll be on continuous.
And what is 8?
I'm driving. I want to be driving, and I'm going to be talking with people on 17 meters.
Yep.
And Al's going to be watching the grid squares and programming the
and
radio
you're on
and making sure everything
18.
is 18.113.
113. Okay.
And like I said, that'll be kind of like a plus and minus.
This is too cool. All right. Well, it's just ham radio fun, and we'll see you all on Dayton. Have a good trip, and thanks for coming up and letting us see all this. And we'll be listening 10.129. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. How much fun.
Hey, who says ham radio's not fun, Gordo? Is that crazy or what?
That is great. We need more of that, more crazy stuff. Dayton is right around the corner.
Last year, I'm at Dayton setting up on Thursday, and I get this message from Sarah. Her and Donna and some of the crew from the Heil plant were driving over on Thursday, and she sends me this message, and she says, "I'm following some guy, and he lost his antenna, and it's running behind his car." It was Sap and Al. It was really too funny. She didn't know, and of course, who knows? They get a lot of that. Like, did you know your antenna fell down? But what happens? We did that. You've been here, George and Gordo. These roads are out here in the Ozarks are hilly and curvy. When they get out on the straight run and get up to their 70 miles an hour, that baby straightens out and horizontal away she goes, and that's why they do it. But we followed him for a while. I just wanted to tell everybody about it. I'm fascinated by some of the stuff those two guys come up with. And that one has a lot of use because we'll be able to check some propagation and have some fun working them all the way to Dayton. Be a week from tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, Central Daylight Time. Get on 18113 and you can talk to them. But 10.129 will be the beacon. Well, there's a lot of things going to be at Dayton. We only have just a couple. And one of the things that I want to do is first, let's bring Scott in here for a few minutes. Scott Robbins has been a friend of mine, and he's been a friend of amateur radio for years. Scott, it's nice to see you. W4PA, how you doing?
Bob, great to be here. Good to see both you and Gordon tonight, and glad to be here on Ham Nation.
Well, we're really glad to have you, and you, of course, are heading up Vibraplex, and you have some new products coming. And tell us a little bit about what's going on with your company, Scott.
All kinds of stuff going on. I took over running Vibraplex in 2009, and since then I've kind of kept an eye out for offering more stuff for amateur radio besides the key line. And the most recent thing that has come to be is I'm going to be representing SSB Electronic from Germany here in the United States. SSB has been selling products in the U.S. for radio amateurs for about the last 25 years, primarily VHF high-performance preamps, switching accessories. They have come on very strong, though, in recent years with a brand new coaxial cable line, and they have an HF SDR transceiver as well. Both of these products are going to be shown in our booth at Dayton. I've got them here with me. I wanted to show you this one first. This is the ZS1 Zeus HF SDR transceiver. This transceiver is developed by some Russian guys, and SSB Electronic licensed the design from them and is now offering this for sale. Just started selling in the United States in the last few months. I understand that QST will have a product review out of this transceiver in the June issue, which should be hitting the street just in time for the Dayton Hamvention. You can see very small and compact, weighs a couple of pounds. Rear panel here, very basic, SO239 connector, TX ALC connections, PTT, key jack. Great transceiver. We're going to have this in the booth with us in the North Hall. Have a 46-inch screen so you can see how it all works, show the different display, and essentially get American hams familiar with this product that the Europeans already know so much about.
Wow, that's super, Scott. Hey, Scott, I've got an SSB Electronics 10 gigahertz transverter system, and let me tell you, absolutely the
brand
finest.
new product for you here.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Bob.
Great. One of the things that
Scott,
SSB is
go ahead, Scott.
One of the things they're most known for is VHF high-performance products. They have an entirely new preamp line that's just been released for 2014. I've got an example of one of these here. This is the new MHP 200 2-meter preamp. And essentially, this is a mass-mounted device. You can see we've got 13.8-volt DC connections, end connectors for antenna and transceiver. You would mount this outside with mounting hardware with your antenna system for VHF. These preamps really have been the standard for many, many years for VHF operation, both here in North America and in Europe. And this new product line allows for higher transmit power through the device than previously had been allowed for with SSB products. Completely redesigned system, so they've got better performance level, higher gain. We're going to be showing and have all these products for sale this year with us at Dayton as well. But one other thing that they are doing that we've been quite excited about is the coaxial cable. And I've got a few examples of this here. They have a line they manufacture in Germany called EcoFlex. And EcoFlex is a high-performance, high-end cable. You can see here an example of this. We've got here one of their end connectors. This is the EcoFlex 15 coax. This is the best low-loss cable for VHF, UHF operation, and of course is very suitable for HF as well. Very competitively priced versus hardline or other coaxial cables on the market. This is another example of what they have. This is the EcoFlex 10. Again, another end connector on the end, though they do have of course, UHF connectors for standard amateur use. Of course, now that I've said that, I find one. Yes, here we go, UHF. These are high quality pieces of equipment, as you would expect, nonetheless, from German engineering, of course. And we're going to be displaying these cables for the first time. We'll be running a show special on coaxial cables, the Zeus transceiver, SSB preamps, and we're even going to be doing a Dayton in June sale. Essentially, if you can't make it to Dayton, you should be able to get the Dayton price. We're going to run that on our website all the way till July 1st for the Zeus transceiver, coax cables, preamps, everything. We'll put information on our webpage right after the Hamfest, so people that even are not going to the show will be able to take advantage of it as well.
Will you have some of this new SSB equipment there that they're introducing?
Yeah, absolutely. We will not have, unfortunately, won't have the coax cables on sale in the booth as our shipment did not arrive as of yet, but we will have the Zeus ZS1 transceiver, and all of the VHF preamps, switching, etc., available for sale at the show as well.
Oh, great. Well, I personally want to come and see that, but we'll have you back on after Dayton, and we'll really get into that. One other thing that you do, and you do a great job, is spider beam, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We are the U.S. and Canadian distributor for spider beam antenna as well. We have a line of heavy-duty and portable Yagi antennas that are not only suitable for de-expedition and portable use, but do real well as a stealth antenna. They're kind of hard to see. Once you have the thing built, it's black, it's got black wire. Doesn't look like an antenna. I think to the uninitiated, if you saw this in the air in someone's yard, you wouldn't realize that you were looking at a radio antenna. Looks more like something you'd possibly hang laundry on. We've even got a couple of pictures on our website of an installation that was done recently by KYC in North Carolina, who said, hey, here's a picture of my 40-foot mast. Here is the antenna on top of it in the backyard of my antenna-restricted subdivision. You can barely even see this thing from 50 feet away, much less worry about somebody from the street saying, hey, you know, this isn't, you shouldn't have this in your yard, etc. We have another product, actually, we're selling at Dayton, too, that's a competitor of Spider Beam called folding antennas. It's a hexagon beam antenna. It folds into a collapsible package only 45 inches long for easy transport. One of the things that's kind of prevented people from using gain antennas in other situations where it's portable is that essentially you've got to take this thing out, you've got to build it, put it all together. That makes a wire antenna a much easier choice. This particular antenna folds up into a package, has a carry bag, you can fold it up, put it over your shoulder. When you get to the QTH you want to use it at, you pop the thing out, you stick it on a mast, and you're ready to go. And it's a perfect mate for the spider beam mast as well. There's a dowel that comes out of the bottom of the folding antenna. It mates right to the top of the aluminum spider beam mast. You can carry the spider beam mast with one hand, the folding antennas with the other, and be on the air in a matter of minutes. We're going to be showing a full-size version of this antenna and the spider beam antenna in the booth at the North Hall at 0250, 0251, and 0252. And we'll even have Christian Sack, DL1 ELU, who's the designer of the folding antenna, in the booth with us as well.
Oh, that's really great. Well, we appreciate you coming on and giving us some preview of what's going to happen, and we'll see you around the corner and down the ramp a little bit in the new location for your booth. So, thanks very much, and we'll get you back on the show after Dayton and talk more about. I want to talk about your career, and I know you're a great CW operator. I think you go out and help those guys in Pennsylvania once in a while win some of those awards, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I certainly have been up there at K3LR before. Have been focusing a lot in recent years on going to the Caribbean. Certainly would be happy to be back here and talk with you.
All right. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you being here very, very much so. Well, we want to move on with some of the other things. I've got a couple of pictures that MFJ sent. One of them is really intriguing, is a new amplifier. It's a solid-state amplifier. It's legal limit from 160 to 6 meters. And that is really something. Brian, let's see if we can find that slide of the MFJ amplifier. This thing is super duper. Check this out. This is gonna really change things, I think. It follows your transceiver so that if you have a newer transceiver and you switch bands, the amplifier will follow you. And it's 1.2 kW PEP, and this is all set up so if you have SWR problems, if something shorts out, whatever, it just turns off and waits till you correct it. It doesn't blow up. And so I'm really excited to see this. So be sure and check the Ameritron booth at Dayton for that. There's the insides of it. It's well built. This is a really cool piece. And we're happy to expose it here for the first time. They also are going to have a new one of their antenna analyzers, and you have to have an antenna analyzer. And while we're talking about antenna analyzers, Comet is really a great company. They build good antennas, and Mick sent along one of they've had this out for some time, but they also have a very exotic antenna analyzer. And if you haven't seen this, you might want to check it out. It's a CAA 500, and it does a lot of things other than just check your antenna. So you want to check on the comet pieces. And last but not least, we've got a couple of brand new products at Heil Sound. Of course, the new headset's going to be there. It's been out for a year or so, but we've got phase reversal on the new ProSet 3, and that really helps dig them out of the doldrums. But we're introducing the wireless. This is really something. I'm very happy with this. You take this, you plug it in the back of your microphone, and you plug this into your transmitter input, the microphone input through one of our headphone adapters, and you can go about 40 feet wireless, and it works really good. You know, I never did like Bluetooth because it's bubbly. Well, we figured out how to fix that. And so this thing is so good that there are broadcasters using it with video cams where they only have to be no more than 20, 30 feet apart. And it's really great. I think George has been using it, some of it also. And we've got the BM10. It's not new. It's been around forever, but it was off the line for some time. But we made a lot of improvements to it. So you want to check back to our booth in Audio Alley. And last but not least, I have no pictures of it because Steven, my production, my director of production, he says, you can't show this. It's so cool. He built a plexiglass box, and it is the coolest thing that I've come up with in a long time. And we used a 3D printer to do the tooling for the design. We're very excited about this. It's a whole new direction for us and a lot of people that do tooling. And so you want to check that out and see what's going to happen. I won't even tell you what it is, but you'll know about it because it's going to be in the middle of a booth in a plexiglass box. Last but not least is our new hand mic. Our new hand mic is cool. You know, hand mics have been my for years because they all sound hollow. They're terrible. You know, they're like this, and you can't say, well, mine don't sound like that. Yes, it does. So what I did is I opened up the top of it, and it opens it up, and it doesn't sound like a hand mic, and it's really, 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 really super. So we finally corrected this hollow sounding hand mic, but they're matching, and they come with their cheap little microphone that come with the radio. Well, spend a few bucks and you'll have beautiful audio from a hand mic, and that's what we're doing. Gordo, have you got anything that we need to know about that's coming at Dayton?
Well, you know, we've had so many entries come in here. I truly have too many to mention. So what I will do is I'll bring along the short shot camera, and 2 weeks from tonight, we'll pick out what we feel are the greatest and the best new items we've seen at Dayton. So in 2 weeks, you'll see what we have seen. Back to you, Bob.
That sounds great. That sounds great. And we're going to go down and see what George, you got any things happening that you know of prior to Dayton?
Well, we're shooting the next Amateur Logic Saturday during the day this time because we got to match Peter's time down in Australia. So I think we're going to do that at 9 a.m. Saturday morning if I'm awake. I've been shooting some new videos for ICOM for those looking for a 2-meter radio. We've just finished one on the IC 2300 that should be released soon, and we just put out one on the new ID 5100A versus the IC 2820H, I believe is the number on that. Tommy and I did a SmackDown. We had Ray officiate, and that one's out there. And we also just put out our tour of Gigaparts Ham Radio Day over at Amateur Logic. You can go check that over there. We talked with several manufacturers there. Of course, Ray was there from ICOM. We talked with Phil from Kenwood as well as Dennis from Yazoo. And, you know, you don't get some of those guys on camera very often. Ray you get to see all the time, but the other two you don't. So it was mighty nice to have them. But this week I didn't fire up the soldering iron. You know, Bob, sometimes you just got to do something for inspiration. You may do this yourself. I don't know. But here's what George did this week. One source that I've used for years is the Marlin P. Jones and Associates catalog. They've got a lot of good stuff in here, a lot of it surplus, really good prices, but you kind of want to watch the prices because some things might be a little higher than you want to pay. On the cover of the current issue, they've got some Arduino-compatible microcontrollers here. Pretty good prices on them. I would be careful, though, because I have heard of some counterfeit ones out there that are not so good. I don't really know about these right here. They may be just fine. So we turn on in. They've got some power supplies here, some bench supplies. I don't see any outstanding prices on these, although, you know, this is not bad right here, $50. This one will go 0 to 30 volts, which is good. But the current's 3 amps. That'll cover a lot of stuff, but certainly wouldn't want a radio. More microcontroller stuff. You know, they're just now starting to carry that, and microcontrollers are really popular. We looked at some just recently. Here's a deal right here. An 8 relay board that you can hook to your microcontroller for $13. Now, you can't buy 8 relays that cheap and mount them along with all the terminals and everything for nearly that price, so an excellent deal there. And now we get on into some of the chemicals and such, and I always check the prices on these because you'll find they vary greatly between different companies. Cheaper power supplies here. Right here, a 240 watt supply. We can get one that's 12 volts at 18 amps, $40. Now, that's not bad. You could run a rig off of that. I don't know if this is good filtered like a ham supply would be, but possible it might be. More bench supplies. Still, again, I haven't found one there that I felt like I wanted to buy or it was an exceptional deal. They got a lot of wall warts, and they've got these laptop computer style supplies. These are pretty good prices here. They're $10 for 12 volts at 3.5 amps. Sometimes it just doesn't pay to build your own supply when you can buy one so cheap. Lead acid rechargeable batteries here. There's a 12 volt 7 amp for $20. Not a bad price. And now on into some more bench type stuff. Auto transformers. You know, Bob has shown us those before. There's a couple of different ones here. You'd have to check prices by what else is available to determine if those were a good deal. Some soldering irons here. Here's a desoldering iron. Boy, that's only $7. This is one that's got the solder sucker built into it. It heats it up and then sucks it up in there. I've got one like that, and it really wasn't worth $7. I haven't been able to do anything with it. And now on into the tools, and you'll find some deals here. You know, a lot of these are cheaper tools. You want to be careful that you don't get something that's so cheap it, you know, like wire cutters, you know, that might gap the first time you used them. You never know on these, though, till you try them. There's some pretty good deals on crimpers in here. If you need to crimp some RG6 cable or some RG59, you know, about $10 here. These crimpers work pretty well. And vices, you know, a pound of vice is about $50. But look at here, $20, $15, another one for $20. I haven't seen these, so I'm not sure exactly what quality they are, but they look like they're aluminum. They're probably well worth that price. A deal on PVC electric tape, 89 cents if you buy it in quantities of 10. Stay away from that. You don't want to use cheap electrical tape. Now here's something that everybody needs, and that's tweezers. You can get a pack right here of 6 for $14, or you can just select from 3 different models here, $1.50 each. Now, why wouldn't you have those on your bench? With components getting smaller, a good set of tweezers is really worth the money. And another thing here, these hobby picks, sort of like dental picks, $2 for a pack of 4. You certainly want a set of those. A variety of relays, and not really bad prices on these either. Then we'll get on over into the computer cables and adapters and such. Audio connectors. And on these, you really don't know what you're getting. If you're getting a Switchcraft brand or something, which I don't see any of these with that name on them, some of these connectors that I'm finding today are not very good, not very rugged. I don't know about these particular ones. You'll have to kind of watch the text, like right here. Here's a mini XLR, and this won't fit your Heil mic, but it does fit some things, and this is actually a Switchcraft brand. These little Euro terminal blocks here, I was at Lowe's the other day. They wanted $8 for one of these. Here you can get it for $3. RF connectors. There again, I don't know what brands these are. They're probably decent for the price, though. A variety of power cables to fit those odd components that you've got that you lost the cable for. Alligator clips. Now, these are probably the cheaper ones right here. They don't have a name on them. If you want some of these telco type test clips, they've got the genuine Muellers right here. $5 for a pair. Some interesting things over here. Impulse counters. These are little counters that will click over one notch every time something executes. That can be very handy. Now, you can do that with a microcontroller and different things, but, you know, $1.50, that's going to be hard to beat. Then on into more motors here. Stepper motors. They've got servos. They've got just regular motors. So a lot of good options there if you're building something that you need to turn a knob or move a lever or whatever. They got test equipment, mostly cheaper stuff here, although they do have the Ideal brand here, and that's $50 for one of their clamp-on meters is probably not a bad deal. Little voltmeters. You know, I'm thinking about getting one of these myself, just to put on some of my power supply kits. $5 there. That's not bad at all. Of course, panel meters as well. Some scope probes and pretty decent prices on those. More test clips here. I really didn't see any Muellers, which is what I would like to have, other than these telco types here. Here's some H.A. Smiths, though. $3 for a pack of 10. These are good clips. No insulation, though. Now on into our proto board and PC board making supplies. Cabinets, rack accessories, cooling fans, switches, a lot of different foot switches there. And, you know, these are not necessarily brand name components. Some are, but others are not. You know, 35 cents for a sub-mini toggle here, just an on-off. How can you beat that? Heat shrink tubing, pretty good selection of it, and one I've never seen before that I know Bob would like, violet heat shrink. And then just some little common semiconductor components here. Diodes, bridge rectifiers, voltage regulators, and look at here, 2222 transistors, 6 cents a piece. A variety of LEDs, so we've got something for Gordo here. Some snap-on ferrite beads, always handy to have, and pretty reasonable prices on that. If you're into audio projects, 120 watt dummy load resistor, 8 ohms, $6. And that's it. The Marlin P. Jones catalog. A lot of good stuff in there. You want to watch the prices, but you will find some good deals. Sometimes when you're going to build something, you sit down, you draw out a schematic, make your parts list, and then go hunting for the parts. But sometimes I like just to look at the parts and think, what can I do with that? So that's always a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time looking at those surplus catalogs. And if you guys know of some good ones out there, drop me an email, george@amateurlogic.tv, because I would like to know about them. There's a few others that I subscribe to that always have some good stuff in there, but prices on that stuff has gone up in recent years. How about you, Bob? Do you ever waste any time looking at the surplus catalogs?
Oh, yeah. I try to look at fair radio sales online. Fair's been around forever. I used to buy parts when I got into this hobby back in the mid-'50s, and there in Ohio, and they'd have a lot of things. And Mendelson. Now, Mendelson has a huge tent now outside in Dayton, so I'm sure you spend some time at the Mendelson booth. I don't get to spend any time anymore at Dayton to go outside, though, so I leave that up to you to guide me along. And the catalogs are fun. All electronics, and there's just a whole bunch of them. So thanks for doing that, George. That's great.
Oh, you're welcome, Bob. I know some people will think it was an infomercial, but no, the only thing I get free from Marlin P. Jones is the catalog, but I really like looking at those. And like I say, you know, they're the inspiration for a lot of projects.
They are.
Well, last week I asked a question, which of the following devices can be used for impedance matching at radio frequencies? And the answers are A, a transformer, B, a pi network, C, a length of transmission line, or D, all of the choices are correct. And we had a winner there. It was Rich, WB2GXM, and he said, George, the answer to your question is D, all of the above. So congratulations, Rich. You're going to win the speaker from DX Engineering, a nice little external speaker. Be great in the mobile there, and doesn't take up a lot of room either. Sounds good too. I'll listen to it. And that, you know, that
Hey,
question,
George.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I got something for you though. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's a good sounding little speaker, and you know that particular question there, which of the following devices can be used? That should have been your clue right there. When you're studying for your exam, pay attention to things like that. It had devices, plural. So that should tell you right there that it's a good chance all of the above.
Yeah.
For next week, I'm going to give away this MFJ AC power voltage monitor. It's the MFJ 850B. I use one of these. I got it in the rack over there. And it's handy just to glance at it and kind of see how your line voltage is running. If you'd like to win that, then answer this for me. In the U.S., AC voltage frequency is 60 hertz. So why did Germany decide on 50 hertz, which is, you know, what most of Europe runs on? If you think you know the answer to that, send me your answer to hamnationcontest@gmail.com, and you could be next week's lucky winner. And Bob, I believe you had something there?
Yeah, well, I have the answer to that. They did that to mess up the Americans. Because we tried to take a Hammond organ to Europe, and it's down about 2 pitches, but that's okay. Hey, I want to know if I get some kind of award from W5JDX. Check this out, what we're working on, buddy. This is a digital VFO for my 20A. You know, for years we've used those Jeep transmitters, BC 458s that you bought from Fair Radio Sales. Well, Jim Haggerty, WA1FFL, has got this wonderful digital VFO, and I've been working on, and it works. I had it plugged in the other night. Well, I did 2 nights on it. Worked JD and Phil and John and all the guys down on 3847. I'm really excited about that. I will keep you posted on this project. Now we got to build a box for it, but I have to go to Dayton first. But you know how it is, you're getting involved in a project and then you got to stop, and I don't want to do that. So when I get it all working, you'll be able to see it. But just so everybody knows, I'm the soldering iron is pretty warm around here these days because of that. So there you go. All right, so thanks a lot. I really enjoyed that catalog. That was cool.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I heard you using this the other night. I didn't say anything, but I was listening, and it did sound good. And you know, that's the way to go. A lot of people rebuild vintage rigs, and they want to keep everything original. That's okay. But if you're going to talk on it a lot, the guys listening to you sure would be happy if you had something that stayed on frequency like that. Well, now,
it's like I always tell. I always tell these guys that say, "Well, I don't care what my microphone sounds like." I said, "Yeah, but you don't have to listen to it, so you want to make it really good." Yeah. All right. Let's hear from ICOM, huh?
Well, I think actually we'll go talk to Amanda first and see what she's got in the chat room. Could be some important questions in there. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, George. Thanks, everybody. And for wondering, this is what I envision everybody wearing at Dayton Ham Fest. So got the name tag, got your badges, everything like that. Gotta love it. Anyhow, I wish I could be there with you guys. So I do.
You're in. You are in, Amanda. You are dressed for Dayton.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As long as it's flashy and has some lights, and I don't interfere with anybody else's radio activity. And of course, I've got the radios, and not to mention, in case my friends need me and they're out in the parking lot, I have my APRS tracker system here, so they know exactly where I am. All right. Only Gordo would appreciate that. Okay, Gordo, let's go to you first. VA3 ZTF Jeremy asks, he'd like to know a good resource for learning CW.
There are many ways to learn CW, the Koch method, the Gordo method, the Navy records method, whatever method works best to keep you tuned in to CW. We do it the Farnsworth method and have audio CDs, and we have a lot of students say that using the audio CDs, along with my suggestion of copying code on the air, because you never know what's coming down the line, is one of the best ways. And also practicing with a simple, such as an MFJ CW keyer. So tapping out the code does well. Listening does well. We suggest never to try and write down dots and dashes. But if you should miss a letter, just wing it and go on to the next one. Back to you, Amanda.
Thank you, Gordo. I appreciate that very much. And Jeff and I are both looking into learning CW here very shortly, maybe winter time when it's a little bit slower in the season. Anyhow, appreciate that. Let's see. We've got a question for Bob. AK8J Brad asks, Bob, do you operate HF on the way to Dayton? And if so, how can he hear you?
On a lengthy basis. Yeah, every day. Every day that I'm here, I'm on the air somewhere, and mostly 75 at night. Although I've been on 40 a lot here lately at night. I work a little bit at 20. I'm on a lot of the vintage nets, 20 meters on Sunday afternoon. Get on the vintage net, then a little later is the Collins net, Hallicraft. I love all that old stuff, as you can see. So I work a lot of that on Sunday on 20. Other than that, why, you'll find me on 40 meters, a lot of AM, 7295, and then on 75. You know, at 75 meters, it's been a gentleman's agreement for decades, back in the 50s, that 3870 to 3890 is the AM window. So we try to respect that, and that's where you'll find the AM guys. Other than that, you'll find me down wherever. But a bunch of us are on 3847 late night, so I'm around. So check in. Drop me an email. Look at my QRZ page. Drop me an email. We'll make a schedule. We'll find you somewhere.
That sounds very good, Bob. Thank you. And he was also interested if you operate on the road on the way to Dayton.
I will. 40 meters. Yep. I just changed vehicles, a company vehicle, and I got the old antenna put on, and ICOM 7000, and we'll be happening. We'll leave Illinois Tuesday morning, and we'll be probably on 40 meters all day.
All right. That sounds great. Thanks so much for that. And I did have some other questions for you. We'll see if we have time later on for that. Let's go to George. Mr. George, KB9FQJ. He's bought a new fluorescent light and with an electronic ballast. And he says, are all new fluorescent lamps as noisy as his is?
Well, I'm kind of hypnotized by the flashing lights on your hat right now, Amanda. No, all of them are not, because I've got some in here and I haven't had any problems with them, but some of them are. And I guess the only way you're going to know is just to try them and see, but I'd probably stay away from the cheaper ones.
I agree completely. And we have fluorescent lamps, 2 different sets in our ham shack, and they don't seem to cause any additional noise. So it looks like you might need to upgrade your ballast there, maybe. So I appreciate that. And hey, you guys, I really wish you all a fun time at Dayton. Wish I could be there with you. So with that, it looks like we're about at the end here. So let's send it to Dawn and LegalZoom.com.
Thanks, Amanda. Let's talk about modern technology. The internet. We've got Skype. We've got the ability to come together from all over the world and enjoy ham radio on Ham Nation all together. You've got smartphones. You've got your iPad. You've got Android devices, all these other gadgets that are supposed to make it easy to do so many things. Well, with all that stuff, why is it that it seems like our lives are busier at the same time? You hardly have time for anything important, like, for instance, getting the legal help you need. Well, LegalZoom will give you a great solution that will work with your busy schedule. And let's face it, the legal system is extremely complicated. There are way better things you can be doing with your time. And thankfully, LegalZoom is there. So if you've been thinking about starting a business, forming an LLC, getting a trademark, a will, a living trust, these are all very important things, and LegalZoom will help you get the job done and get it done right. You'll get the personal attention you need, and they will help you take care of all the details. LegalZoom's been helping families and small business owners for 14 years. They have an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. So call or visit LegalZoom today. LegalZoom provides legal help through independent attorneys and self-help services, but is not a law firm. To visit LegalZoom.com, use offer code HAMNATION. You will save on your legal needs and also get access to a network of legal plan attorneys for guidance. Don't put off the things you need to do. Go to LegalZoom.com right now. Use offer code HAMNATION. LegalZoom.com, offer code HAMNATION. You'll get $10 off at checkout. And LegalZoom, thank you very much for your support of Ham Nation. From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 1916, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, May 7th, 2014. First up, a new law in one northern Arizona county precludes all forms of mobile two-way radio other than those needed for public service by first responders, police, fire, or other authorized officials. One of its biggest impacts is that it will effectively stop hams from operating mobile. Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, has more.
The new law is the work of the leaders of Coconino County, located in north central Arizona. It not only includes the city of Flagstaff, but the Grand Canyon and adjacent areas as well. As written, the new ban outlaws mobile radio communications for most drivers who depend on the technology unless they are using a hands-free device. It also stops radio amateurs and others who use push-to-talk microphones from being able to easily assist in a volunteer capacity at local events. According to the Arizona Daily Sun, there are hundreds of amateur radio operators in the county who are angry over the new law. It says that hams have been reaching out to the chairman of the County Board of Supervisors to get a clarification or an amendment that would create an exemption for their mobile operations to continue. But the newspaper also says that when reached for comment, county officials confirmed that the ordinance does ban mobile amateur radio operation as well as other two-way mobile communications deemed as personal. Violating the ordinance will be punishable by a $100 fine plus other penalties that are allowable by law.
There's currently a 6-month grace period before fines are issued. For more on this developing story, please follow the link you'll find in the printed edition of this week's Amateur Radio Newsline Report. If you're thinking about getting into D-Star and are wondering just what to expect when you get a radio or DV dongle, you can now find out by listening to live audio online from the VA6 EFR Gateway. Here's Jim Davis, W2JKD.
To monitor without any D-Star equipment, just take your web browser to www.edmontonfireradio.com and click on the Listen Live link. You can also monitor on your mobile device using various scanner apps on Android, iPhone, and BlackBerry. Now, depending on the app, you would search by location, then select Canada, Alberta, Edmonton, and finally, the VA6 EFR D-Star Gateway. For those with D-Star gear, Bishop says that this gateway is normally linked to the Reflector 30C. However, from time to time, it may connect to other D-Star reflectors or repeaters.
Sounds like a great way to dip your toes into the D-Star pool before you decide to go ahead and dive right in. And by the way, come on in and join us. Water's just fine. If you can't make it to Dayton Hamvention 2014, Tom Medlin, W5KUB, will make it possible for you to join in all the fun vicariously over his live video webcast. Tom's internet video stream begins Wednesday, May 14th, showing his ride from his home not far from Memphis, Tennessee, to the Hamvention at Dayton's Hara Arena. The next 3 days, Tom and crew will be showcasing the magic of the Dayton Hamvention over his dedicated video website at w5kub.com. During part of that time, one of his co-hosts will be astronaut Doug Wheelock, KF5BOC. For the latest update on Tom's plans, you can join his group on Facebook. Just put W5KUB into the search bar, and you'll be taken right to it. You'll probably see me on there as well. I love to go and play on Tom's stream. Join the chat room for a shot to win some great prizes, too. And don't forget, the Ham Nation crew will be at Dayton as well. Ham Nation will broadcast live from its booth located in Audio Alley at this year's Dayton Hamvention, Saturday, May 17th. Bob Heil, K9EID, Gordon West, WB6NOA, George Thomas, W5JDX, Valerie Hotzfeld, NV9L. Perhaps even you, if you're in the assembled crowd, will join Leo Laporte, W6TWT, at the start of the Saturday afternoon national program called The Tech Guy. Laporte Show is broadcast over 160 commercial radio stations. The live feed from Hamvention takes place at 2 p.m. Eastern Time through the remote facilities provided by the Exceed satellite system. Please check your local listings for the station that carries The Tech Guy in your area. And because there are just so many things going on at the world's largest ham fest, it's just impossible to see everything. If you can't make it to the Ham Nation Tech Guy Show, I hope you'll join me at the same time, 1:45 p.m., for the Amateur Radio Newsline Town Hall meeting. We'll be in Forum Room number 5, exploring the history of ham radio as told through film and video. There have been some fascinating films and videos about our great hobby, and we'll take a look at a few dating back from as far as the 1930s to some current ones, even dealing with the theme of this year's Hamvention. And we'll also have a grand prize drawing at the end of the forum. You won't want to miss it. The 2014 Dayton Hamvention is May 16th, 17th, and 18th. We'll see you there live or online via w5kub.com and twit.tv. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news, brought to you each and every week for over 35 years and counting at www.arnewsline.org. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.
It's that time of year again. We're counting down the days to Dayton. Can't make it to this year's Hamvention? You can still join in on all the fun as ICOM will once again be streaming live at Dayton. Lots of great and informative activities are scheduled for Dayton Hamvention 2014. On Thursday, May 15th, one day before Dayton officially opens, attend Contest University 2014 at the Crown Plaza Hotel. Learn from 11 veteran contesters. Register online and check out a course outline at contestuniversity.com. For hams who can't make it, visit icomamerica.com/Dayton 2014 for a live webcast. On the morning of Friday, May 16th, attend D-Star InfoCon 2014 at the Drury Inn. Learn about D-Star and also receive a demo of ICOM's new ID 5100A mobile. Check out workshop details and register at dstarinfo.com. Class will be streamed live on ICOM's site for people who can't attend in person. ICOM will also be streaming live at Harrah Arena. Planned webcasts include the Dayton Youth Forum, moderated by Carol Perry, and other events from ICOM's booths, HA0008 through HA0010, and HA0033 through HA0037. Go to icomamerica.com/Dayton 2014 regularly for updates on webcast schedules, speaker list, and more. Visit icomamerica.com/HamNation for more information on ICOM live at Dayton. Yeah, and tune in those webcasts during the Hamvention if you can't make it there. You know, ICOM gives away prizes every week, and you can register to win some great swag from the ICOM swag shop, like T-shirts or hats or various prizes there. And they're doing that weekly. Just go after each episode of Ham Nation to icomamerica.com/HamNation and throw your name in the hat. And you'll also be registered to win the monthly grand prize. And last month's winner was Michael, KI8R, and he won that new ID 5100A. Oh boy, a great prize there, Michael. Congratulations. And for May, we've got another great prize. That's the ICOM ID 51A, a full-featured dual-watch VHF UHF handheld with D-Star, integrated GPS, automatic repeater list-up, and a lot more. So go to icomamerica.com/HamNation after this episode and each episode of Ham Nation and register to win. And right now, I need to look at my schedule here. It's time for the show wrap-up with Bob.
What a great show. I've been looking into the chat room, talking to a few guys and gals, and it's really been great tonight, and all of the things that everybody's brought forth. Gordo, you're all packed up and you're ready to go. I'm sure you are. You leave, what, Wednesday?
I do, and I just mailed off my 30-pound box for my instructors forum of show and tell. I got my GPS tracking Donnie, and, well, I'll let the chat room tell us where he is. And heck yes, all of my demos, Bob, are with your wireless microphone products. You bet. They have worked so well in our classrooms. So 7278, I'll dial it in now, and we'll look forward to hearing our valued net controllers on both 40 as well as 20 as well as 75 meters. Back to you, Bob. See you next week at Dayton. And those of you watching Ham Nation, we'll see you at our new location at the Silver Arena, or see you 2 weeks from now.
Hey, we'll be anxious to get there and see everybody. So thanks so much for tonight, Gordo. George, we'll see you there. You and Tommy will be there with video cameras, microphones, lots of wires, all that good stuff. And I thank everybody that's been writing and calling about volunteering. That'll be great. We'll need some help on Friday around 11:30 to go take all the stuff over and put it into the forum room. So we'll see what happens once we get there. We'll get it all together, I'm sure. So we'll catch you all on the nets. I think 14,268 is what I'm hearing for the moment. But tune around, you'll find these nets. 7268. Sometimes there's a net on there, so we move up a little bit. So check in and work some of the guys and gals on those nets. You'll have some fun with that. I'm going to go pack some more boxes. I got stuff to do here. And George, where's the dewdrop, guys? Do you have that?
I do, Bob. It's at Star Dewdrop in Star, node number 355800, and the D-Star net is on Reflector 14 Module C. And I did see a little earlier, they posted that the 20-meter net tonight is on 14. Wherever my radio's turned, 14.265. 7-3, see you in Dayton, Bob.
Okay. All right, good deal. And I want to wish all of the mothers a very happy Mother's Day. So if you guys have been stuck in your basement too long behind a microphone and behind one of the Vibralplex keys of note, well, go down to just anywhere and get a card and give it to Mom. If you can't do that, take a blank piece of paper with a pencil and tell her how much you love her and how much that you appreciate what she's done to raise your kids. And is there anything else we can say, Gordo?
Thanks for putting up with us always playing radio.
There you go.
I don't know what that interference is on the TV.
Well, who watches TV? I mean, with all of this stuff around, who watches TV? Only TV I was watching Saturday and Sunday afternoon, I catch Leo, but that's on the screen. See you guys and gals in Dayton. We're so excited. We won't be here next week, but there might be a surprise about that. Our new DX queen there, Valerie, said she might have a place for us to hook up some mixers and microphones. So we might be able to check in next week, George. So we'll keep you posted on that. That sounds pretty cool, because I think she might be onto something. So we might sneak in a little bit from Dayton next week. So be watching for us. All right. 7-3, everybody.